The EFI conversion on this car going on right now. All right, we're ready to start converting this car to EFI and putting everything back together, dropping the 4L80E in. I'm gonna get under here right now, clean up under this underside with a wire brush on a drill, and try to get the underside of the tank there looking pretty good. We need to take this strap off right here and clean it up, and we got to paint those. Paint the gas tank and cut the hole in it, and then we'll start running fuel lines. Now we're going to change the rear control arms on this car too. We got boxed ones, solid ones, so we can put a sway bar and everything on it, because this car needs a sway bar. These are 7/8 inch bolts. Let's see if we can break them loose. Right, that's out. I had to put this jack under this side, so we'll do. So this side, there's an access hole right there, and you slide back through that access hole to get to this. And that's probably going to take a wiggler to do it. So maybe we can put a socket in there and then put the impact on the other side. I'm not sure. It's about the only way I'm going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to get a wrench on it, I can see. Really hard to hit. Let's see what we can do here.
It's gonna be out.
Maybe.
It's gonna go out. Buddy, down there.
Can't really hit it. Some rust in there is what it is, dirt. Hopefully we don't have to cut this bolt. Maybe we can put the lights over here. And we can see what we're doing.
And pull, and it's going to be still in the
A ton of dirt down in there.
bending down on hand. Step on it's gonna be out.
When I get to it, it's gonna be.
I'm gonna be outside.
That's fine. Maybe I'm busy. Come out there easier than I thought it was going to. There we go. One control arm out. All right, so here's what we got. And I don't remember what brand they are. Found them on, I think, eBay. as I do most of my stuff, because it's usually the cheapest place you buy stuff. But it's missing the sleeve back there. Okay, I'm missing the sleeve out of this one. Let me go get the other one. We might have to put the sleeves out of the old ones in it. I don't know.
Daddy,
Yes, baby.
I'm going up the top of
Okay.
it.
Let me get the other one. But anyway, this is what I got. I guess the sleeves fell out over here on the floor and I ain't noticed it. If we have to, we'll knock one out of these old ones here and just use this sleeve. Don't really matter. But anyway, these have got poly bushings in them and everything. So they're pretty good setup. Alright, so let's try this again. So here we go. You can see they've got sleeves welded for the sway bars. And I learned something about this too. The A-body sway bars are exactly the same as this, and so are these lower control arms. So if you got a 73 to 77 A-body, these use this. I'm not sure about a 67, or I'm sorry, a 64 to 72, but the sway bars do mount different from the factory on those. So, not saying you couldn't use it though. Let me put some stuff in here, just enough to get it in there. Go get the hammer, knock his back. What? Need something put under that. Got board right out here. Hi, Amy. Well, I had to take a BFH, but I got it in there. Got to come forward with it a little bit. I'm going to hit it on the back. That'll be easy though. But I just had to beat it really, really hard to get it in there. Kinky, I know. Alright, I got it. What I had to do is take the bolt out and flip it around and drive it through. I don't know if that really makes a difference with the nuts on the inside now. We're spinning now, so take the impact. We'll put this in here. That gives you more room anyway, and that's in. I don't know why it matters, but why they're like it from the factory, but that really made it a lot easier. Tighten the back one up, and this one's in, and then we just reverse the other side. Now I hope this makes this car handle a lot better. We'll just have to see. But it should. And then I hope the exhaust doesn't hit the sway bar. Current situation. I need to sleeve out one of these old bushings because I don't have one. And the new ones. I'm missing one for some reason. Don't know if they didn't send it to me or what. So, I can't get the pop out with an hair chisel. So I'm going to melt the bushing and just let the thing fall out. We'll let that cook. While it's cooking, there's some more stuff I'm going to do. Alright, well, as far as cooking, the old exhaust hanger needs to come out. And I'm just going to cut this bolt, its head off, and take the whole thing off. Because we don't need that. Slaves are working, the fire's cooking. The slaves are working, and how it goes, I don't remember. Alright. mask up, baby. Oh yeah, beautiful mask. Tab right here is holding it. Get under it. Now we can break. Oh. Yep, here goes the trunk floor. See if I can just bend it down. If I can bend it down. There we go. Sometimes it just takes brute force. That old hanger's out of there. No way a man would have got that bolt out of there. Got the sleeve out. Control arm didn't fire so good. I ended up having to cut it. I'll clean this up. Take it over here and press it in the new one. I can't find the original sleeve. I don't think they actually sent me the one that came with it, so that was a ton of work just to get that. I didn't really want to cut these up, but who's going to want them, really? Use them for sheet metal or scrap metal or whatever. Put them out there, scrap metal pile. And now we got a sleeve to fix that one. Even though it's not as pretty as the new ones, who's going to see it? Alright, so the sleeve was a hair bigger that came off the factory ones than what was in these. It's like just a hair. It's just a hair fatter. So what I done is I first tried to put this jack on it. I bent this jack a little bit. I'll straighten it back out. It'll work. But I put it up on the lift and started pushing this in, and it worked pretty good, but then it got right to the end, wasn't working so hot. So what I done is I took my vise that's over in the other garage over there, just tightened it up in that vise and just kept tightening it up, and now we're good to go. So we put this one in, and this part's done. These are way more complicated than they should have been, honestly. These should have just been bolt-in parts, but that's part of what you run into with old cars. Anyhow, let's go ahead and spray this down with some lubricant. Wherever it's at. And it's not going to really do anything when I spray it with lubricant. It's just other than to make it slip out of my hands. Take the ball pin hammer and crowbar like I did earlier. If I could bend this a little bit, it'd been a lot easier, but it didn't want to bend. Cover me in dirt. And the taller stool. This one's kind of broke down, that sets lower. Gives me a little bit more room to work with. And a while ago, I tried to put these in the back first. I'm not doing that no more. So I'm just going to go like this with the ball pin and beat this one in. If I can. So what we go is it. Now wait had something to prise this apart. So it's too big to do with that bar. Yeah, I know I can put something in there, but it still ain't gonna work. That's a long way to pry. It's just been in the bar when I tried. So anyhow, I'll try to get y'all where you can see what I'm doing. And that's not what I wanted to do. I'm caught up on something. Cooking grease, man. Alright, that's dead on. Alright, let's put a bolt in. And a smaller head bolt. They're the same bolt, but well, no, they look the same now. Just crazy, I guess. Said I'm gonna run this one through like this because these do not fit the best in the world. That's the only way I can get a hammer on them. Because the sleeves on these, look, we're just a hair bigger. So, get up in here with a hammer. If I can get the nut on it, let's see. And then we probably can just spin it up and do the back. Let me get over here where I can see what I'm doing. We're close. Another few inches, and I mean, 1/8 inch. What is that? 1/4 inch. Screwdriver. Gotta push it around. It's just gonna be in that screwdriver. It ain't strong enough. I'm going to take some of this fuel line loose, get it out of here, this old fuel line. Lower it down. I don't know if you can see it right there's one. It runs right through the frame rail right here. So did the brake line too, but it's a different hole. And it's got 2 bolts on that, so we'll take those out. And I'm running flexible lines, so them flexible lines, so you know I ain't got to worry about all this stuff. I am gonna reuse these bolt holes just as clamps, but I'm not gonna worry about anything else with it. And my brake line, I don't really have it run like the factory had it because I couldn't get it, so it's just setting through this. It's worked, so I'm gonna redo these brake lines soon anyway. I think those are not a 1/2 inch. Let me think what those are. Might be a 5. They're not that big, are they? Ooh. Can't tell. Can't get in there to see. Need a regular short socket though. Pretty sure they're 5/8 or a 1/2 inch. What's this one? That's 14. Go and get a short socket. Hey, we'll put one right here and see what this is. There's a 1/2 inch. I believe they are a 1/2 inch. Yeah, they're a 1/2 inch. Okay, so they're a 1/2 inch, as I thought. You get a 1/2 inch socket. Start pulling these loose real quick. If I can get on it. I know it's a 1/2 inch. It's just a tight squeeze where I'm at. And it's covered in rust. That might be bigger than a 1/2 inch. Look at this bigger than a 1/2 inch. This right here is definitely a 1/2 inch. That's definitely a 1/2 inch. And them must be bigger than a 1/2 inch. I don't even know the others aren't. I must have used 2 different sizes. Doesn't matter. I've got. Yep, there goes my camera. Stupid camera. I mean, this camera's fought all night. I hate having to run these external batteries, but guess what? The GoPro batteries crap out in about a day now. Probably if I didn't buy the cheap ones. Put that in on. Alright. That one's a 1/2 inch. So I hate boulders. These are really in there. In a bad spot. They stay in and cut them. Hadn't cut enough the past 2 days. Mr. Wiggleforth. I hate wigglers because they get bound so easy. You can see what this one's doing right here. Well, I got it out. There's 2. The rest of them ain't gonna be too bad. Get this mat, silver mat, put it back over there before it gets nasty. Oh, got it. It's in there good. Oh. Get on there. That's one of these. Well, 2 more. That one you gotta get the wiggle on. This one probably can get without the wiggle too. There's not much wiggle. That one. And then there was one right up here at the front. I don't know if you guys can see it. Way right there. Go ahead and get out. Oh, that's the hardest one I've turned yet. Them gotta be a 1/2 inch. I probably just ain't getting on them good. Hope that don't hit right there. Yeah, I hope it don't. Alright, where's that screwdriver? So I'm gonna take that screwdriver, pop all these clips loose. We'll pop all this out. I'll cut it up here in a minute. See, we'll save on these clips. We might need them for something. Always clean them up, paint them, whatever. Another one goes up right there. It ties into the brake lines. Wonderful. We'll probably just cut it and pull it out then. And we'll take it loose and put the brake line back in. Anyway, these are the fuel lines right here in the return. Here. That's what the setup is. And we're not going to reuse it. Like I said, we're going to run the black flexible line you saw me show you on the last video. Alright, so way about it at. Yeah, I should have bought 1/2 inch longer bolts, but I ain't gonna put a washer on top. I'll just put a washer in between the nut and call it good. These ain't gonna budge once I tighten them up anyway. Sway bar, I think it's an A-body one, so it's about 1/2 inch too short. We're just gonna bend it out a little bit. And it might have got bent, I don't know. but it's not going to fit the way it sits. So it looks like it's actually got bent a little bit right there, which is no big deal. Could have been on a cart, been in a wreck, could have got pushed in, you know, could have got moved, bent shipping, I don't know. We're going to go out here and hook a chain to it and tie it to something and just pull it a little bit with my truck, straighten it out a little bit. You only got to move it maybe a ½ inch at most.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got the tank painted too. Now, like I said, it needs another, like, a few touch-up places, but I really ain't worried about the top that much because this is the top and it's not ever going to be seen anyway. It's actually pretty coated, pretty good. Most of that's just where this had like some undercoating on it. I wouldn't go sit and scrape it all off for something that's never going to be seen. So that's pretty much how we're going to do that silver. And I got to mount it for the thing, but I just want to protect it. I do got to get some rubber to put here and here for the straps and then on the bottom of the straps. And I still got to paint the straps and put those ends on them. And don't know how far we're going to get today. I've got to go to a funeral, so. We've got the fuel line started in it, just laying in there. I've got to do some measuring, make sure where my tank's going to clear. We got to cap these somehow. I'm just not sure how yet. I thought about cutting them off and welding them, but then I've got to looking at my tank. I've got a return hole right here that I'm not going to be using. I guess that's the factory return because this car had a return, so we'll have to, it's got like 2 vent lines in there. It's got a bunch of vent lines on it. I really don't know what all it does on this car. It's kind of crazy. I've never seen that many on this old a car. So we might have to cap that off too. We might just do JB weld because I don't want to just put a cap on it because it might blow off, because this tank's going to have pressure in it because fuel injection takes about 60 psi. So hoping to get this guy done for. We also got all them old fuel lines out. I don't know if you can really see, but all them old fuel lines I was working on last night are out, cut out. So that was the last bit of fuel line. And I had it all out except for this little piece right here. And this piece, they went up around the frame up here, and it must have been put on before the body was put in the car. There's no way to get up. Ratchet, socket, I've tried everything I've got to 2 brackets that held that. Sorry, I'm kind of hot. I ended up having to cut them with our chisel and cut them out. Cut the bolts heads off and just jerk them out. And I'm not going to reuse them. There would have been no way to change them without doing that anyway. You can't get a wrench to it. I've tried every wrench, every socket, everything I've got, every extension, wiggler. Just that much room. The only thing might have worked, other than, you know, sticking vice grips on it, and I don't even know if I could have got them in there, would have been maybe some of those little shallow mount sockets that have like that goes all the way through. But even them would have been tight. I don't know if you've been able to do them. So, but I got it out. Sway bar's ready to go in. We got to, like I said, we got to bend it just a little bit because I think it's bent on this side just a little bit from the looks of it. Looks like it probably got done shipping, or maybe it come out of a cart, got hit or something like that, or laid on the ground. Who knows? But we're gonna go do that with a tree and my truck and a chain here in a minute. So we'll worry about that in a minute. So this transmission adapter, I bought some. Dropped it here. Bought some of these kind of screws, hoping I could put it in and fit this in here and it would fit down in this case. Won't do it. Ain't no way around it. Just gonna have to use 4 bolts to hold it. The dowel pins will hold the transmission anyway once it's in there. Apparently they just want you to use just 4 bolts. It's the only thing I can figure. There's no way around it though. So we'll put it in with the 4 bolts and call it good. Alright, so trying to figure out the tank and the best way to do it. So here's my float that I'm about to replace it and stuff. And it mounts back this way. So it's going to be back to right there. I think if I mount the tank, the new pump right here, it gives me a little bit of a recess. So I've got some clearance. And these tubes right here, these go away. These are just going to get capped off. So I think if we do that, and it won't interfere with the float, and we can set that right there, and it'll be right at the end of the tank, and that's the deepest point of the tank. So that's another good process about it. So So I'm thinking right there, I gotta go get the ring and see how everything fits. All right, so here's the ring that they provide you with. Let me take this out. You can come out. Huh? Check them, I don't know. So that probably ain't gonna, well, it's foam, so. Yeah, but I don't think it'll tighten up right there. The other option I got is right here. And this was in place I initially thought. But to do that, I'm gonna have to have that much clearance under the tank. So I'm gonna have to drop the tank down a little bit. And it will give me 7 inches of clearance versus 6 and whatever. Okay, well, this ain't gonna work right there. It's too fat. The other option I got is right here. Got a strap right here that sets, or that piece that sits on the frame. So what we'll have to do though, if we put it right here, we might have to lower the tank about however deep that is. What is she doing? How's that on? Where was I? Alright, so yeah, the only place it's gonna work right here. That right there's a good thing. The good thing is it's out of the way of the float. I don't even know if I'll cut these now. There's really no sense in it. I'll probably just put a piece of hose and loop it and clamp it and be done with it so it doesn't spit any out. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to put it right there. That's got a little kick up right there that would be almost as high. And we can run the lines maybe through here. We may have to drop the tank down 1/2 inch further, but you know, if we set it like this way and run the lines that way through those channels, we should be all right. It has a slot thing that this sets on. We gotta get some rubber and put here and up and under the straps. So we might have to lower the straps down another 1/2 inch, make it just to put a spacer on top of it. We'll figure it out. I'm guessing right where the center of this square looks like a winner to me. Oh, that's fun. That was fun. No, that hurt. So I'm guessing that's a filler neck vent. I'm not sure. I don't know why it doesn't just vent in the tank. So I've already cut through it. I'm just gonna cut it out. I don't know if I really need it. I got 2 other vent lines, so I don't know. I don't know if that's the one for up here. I mean, because it would run somewhere, but there's really not one in the neck, so I'm not sure. This is a weird setup tank, like I said, and I don't know what's inside it or nothing. So, but we can just bend these tubes out of the way, bend that one down in there, cap this. It should work the same because it's still vented. Even if that is the tank vent, it still will work if we just push it over. All right, so we got the ring. I just got it sitting in there, but I got the holes drilled for it. Now I just got to figure out how to set the depth on this thing. It's kind of goofy. All right, this is the ACES tight tank. It uses a 255 liter per hour pump, just a GM style. It's got this. Similar to what you see from Holley. It's got the mat that goes up and under it. It's laying out there on the truck, but we got to modify this to the height that we need. And I've got 7 inches and 1/8 from the top of my tank to the bottom. So I measured it out. The 3rd bar is going to have to go on this. And we'll cut this down. And then we got to cut these 2 pipes. Heat it with a heat gun and slide this on. And then it just zip ties to it. Yeah, so we're going to cut it right here. I think you can just break these. I ain't sure.
Baby.
I want no break, so. Let me go ahead and cut it with the wheel. Just be a lot easier. I ain't fooling with this all night. You're gonna freak out, ain't you? don't freak out, okay? Just gonna be one little cut. I'm done. Yep, I told you. Alright, we cut that with the wheel. I'll get you some in a minute, babe. So this right here now has to be, let's see how high this pump is.
Now, say tomorrow and then not go chase.
So it's 4 inches. And we need to be 7. And we got an 1/8 inch clearance. Let me get the mat right quick. This is about an 1/8 inch thick. This is 4 inches tall. We got 7 1/8. Let's do 3 7/8. Sound good? How tall is this? Probably take an 1/8 inch off this line, return 2, but that ain't that big a deal. So I'm thinking this is 4 inches, and we're not going to get it all the way down, I don't believe. It's just under 4 inches, so it's like 3 and 3. God almighty. So anyway, it's like 3 7/8. So we figure that as 4 from 7, and we cut this 2 and 7/8 right there. It should be good. I'm not an expert at this stuff, so here's the thing: if we mess it up, we'll go buy a piece of pipe and fix it. It's that simple. Scratch on it, that's good. Luckily I scratched it there where I was needing to cut it anyway. So there, so that's good. And they give us 2 clamps, I guess just for a good measure. They said this won't probably pull off even without the clamps the way this heats, but anyhow. So we got 2 clamps. They said those are metric, but we'll just use a screwdriver. I ain't worried about it. Alright, heat gun, Harbor Freight Special. This has been the best heat gun for the money, honestly. I'd like to have a big cordless Milwaukee one, but you know, this one actually has been a pretty good old gun. I've done a lot of wiring with it. Odds and ends. So, just heat this pipe up. And basically like you're doing black water pipe, you know, the old type. Burn my fingers a little bit. Set that down there on the floor and burn my feet. Heat it up a little more than that. Alright, starting to turn just right before it turns liquid. God. Yep. And they give you clamps, like I said, but I swear you don't really need them. Anyway, we'll tighten this clamp up. We'll heat the same thing, do this side in the same way. And we'll zip tie it up, trim this down just a little bit. This should be done. Yeah, just took some brute force, but it's on there. And this will twist whichever way I need it to. I need it about like that right there. And this is ready to go in the car. All right, so now I've got to fish the ring back in here with the screws in it. Now that's gonna have just enough room to do it, I guess. I believe we got it. Here we go. All right. Now this foam ring just slides over the holes. It's kind of getting dark out here, I know. Running out of daylight. We're gonna try to knock this out right quick, though. Alright. This guy somehow feeds down in here. Alright, I got the new float in it too. So I got these clamps here that go in a clamp or a vise or whatever. They were pretty cheap. And they just hold it however I need to press everything in. Not real sure how they work. They work better than a vise, but my vise ain't mounted on this bench and I'm not going in that other garage to get it. I've got another vise to mount on this bench if I'll ever take my time and do it. It's just, free time is not a commodity here at Jeffrey Rig. So this is how I seen everybody doing this. Like I said, I ain't done these before, so I might be figuring it out a little different. Seem to be working, so make sure it ain't pushing my cable out. So I bought some of these. I got these, I think, off Temu. It was the cheapest place to get them. So this is the wrenches designed for it. It looks like I'm right. Hopefully I am. And this just screws on the fitting. Like I said, it's my first time doing these. I can't pull it out though, so hopefully it's alright. Now I gotta do another one of these, just like this on this big long hole. And one of them I'm gonna cut and put the fuel filter in line. And I gotta do measuring before I do all that. I'm gonna leave enough slack where if I need to take the tank down, I can. And then I can pick it back up or whatever if I need to. So I needed something to put under these straps and stuff that was like rubber. And I was gonna go buy, you can't really find just like sheets of rubber really. So the only thing I could do is do like an old mat or something and trim it down. Brother-in-law actually had to have his pool liner replaced. And I not really a fan of the color, but that's like a soft PVC type stuff. It's free. I just need something to come in there just to take a little pad so it don't eat the gas tank up, vibrate and all that. That's gonna work pretty good. Now I got a little off right there, and then I got some overlap here I'm going to trim out, but which I really don't care if it overlaps a little bit like that. It don't matter. But that up in there, I'll keep that tank padded. Alright, I've been war wheeling it a little bit and spraying it under here. Say hi, Amy.
Hi.
And it looks a little better. I need to do a few more little spots there, but that'll hold it good till, like I said, till we get this thing painted. Word of advice, don't squirt a turbo can under your car. They go everywhere. Got a little on the lift here in 2 spots that I went and got just a regular can. And I'm getting back in here in the frame rail where I'm gonna run the fuel lines. Alright, I got this orange wire run too, run up to right here with the fuel line. I need to put maybe 2 more zip ties, and I really need to put that bracket in right there. I gotta find it, that bolt. But once we do that, this is done to the back to the hook to the fuel line. This is gonna be the fuel feed line, and then the ground we'll just put back there somewhere. I've got drilled this hole out, and these are got the bolts out of these, so we can run bolts through them. Bolt through here, and then we'll just make a piece of, I've got a piece of L bracket in there. I'm going to make the kick over to bolt up onto the car. You got to put a end on this for a ring terminal, and then we got some black here we got to do for a ring terminal. Here, 12 gauge wire. I don't know what it calls for. 12 gauge wire definitely power this. And I'm going to do a little heat shrink as always, just for good measure. Because I like the way it looks and likes the way it feels and everything. So, put this little piece of heat shrink on here. And wiring is kind of my, I know wiring might be boring you guys, but it's kind of my forte. So, it's pretty good. Alright, let me get a print connector. Those are a little too big. I don't know if I have any that fits 12 gauge. These are for 14. It may work. Yeah, they'll work. Yeah, these are big enough. Just checked it. These are 14s, but we'll put them on here. As long as they fit, it don't matter. All right. Hey, Joe. There we go. And so I guess I'll just cut these off, put a tack on each end of them, call it good. All right, I got them welded up. Originally, these straps had like a screw that went all the way through them. Bend this in a little more. Anyway, they had a screw that went through them. Screw straight on the other side. And the bad thing about that is they rusted up, and I had to cut them. All right, I got an elbow on it now. That looks a lot better. Let's just start tightening these up. I don't know which way the best way to run this stupid ground is. Probably under. We can run it over, I believe. It don't matter. Let's run it under. Got more room if I do it under. Let's get this on here first. Can't really see what I'm doing. I'm just feeling, guessing. Alrighty. Not sure if the camera can really see this, but we're gonna hook up this line. Let's move this ground out of the way so we get ready to put it in. There we go. ain't perfect, but they'll work. So I got this right here. This is like a plastic, it's like PVC. I'm just gonna cut this about this long, make 2 wedges, slide them up above the tank, and then I'll make spacers so the pump doesn't hit. And I'll paint them black so we'll never see them. All right, you can see here, I'll fix my gas tank straps. And we just slide them right up in there and tighten them up. So there's my wedges I made. And they're black, so you ain't gonna ever see them. And they're plastic, so they'll last forever. Or PVC or whatever. And I'm just gonna put these above where I put the rubber on the tank. All right, she's in. She's got a little bowl right there. We'll put a zip tie or something around them so they don't jump on out. But he can't move. That's all that matters. Tank's in because I'm shaking the whole car. It ain't moving nowhere. Okay. Now I just need to tighten that up, but that's good.
You can pull it down.
I got something in my mouth, sorry.
You can pull it down. You can do it. And you open the door up on here in this.
I'm gonna zip tie these up over here out of the way. And that should be good. All right, I've got the adapter in there and I've just got it finger tight with 2 bolts on top, and it's just the 2. There's 2 bolts that are BOP bolts that are not going to be used for anything but the adapter. And I've got them in. There's 2 that hold in the transmission that go both Chevy or BOP, and then there's 4 that go in the adapter besides that. And there was 2 more holes, but I can't get set screws in there and I'm not notching this case. Everybody I read said they just use 4 bolts on the engine side.
Make me. Where's this? Same pizza.
Sparks. So that's a 4L80E and a 72 Centurion. Now it had to do a little trimming right here on this and this nib to get this in here. You can see how close that was. Probably could trim some more. Now if I ever do long tubes, they'll come down and clear that, so it don't matter. We'll bend them out. I'm pretty sure with long tubes we even got to take these little braces out, especially on that side. And I don't have the cross member in yet. I've just got the ratchet strap holding it right now, because I've got to measure that, because it's different than the 400. It's actually skinnier. Got bolts for it. Just got to get skinnier, modify the cross member, enlarge the holes, and that. We're good over here. I got some more bolts to put in the transmission. I've just got some in there to hold it right now. The ones that were in it with the adapter weren't long enough, so I need to get some longer ones tomorrow. I'll get some varying sizes of that, and we'll bolt all that up. Ones in it right now are about 1 inch, and I probably need some that's about 1.5 inches, and there might be some I might need a little shorter, so I'll get 3/4, 1.5 inches both, and some inch ones. I'll get about 4 of each. Well, as you can see, there's the adapter in there. Fits pretty well. See, right there's where we'll have to probably do a, you know, we might not even have to take these braces out after all if we do long tubes. I don't know. We'll see. Because they don't hug as close. They stick out a little further. So, and here's our linkage. We'll have to modify that. Obviously, we got that custom one to put in there, and I'll just take this one out. We might end up having to cut this little nib off. I really don't know what it's for. Unless it was to hold the factory linkage. It might have been. But we're not going to need it, so. But yeah. So the transmission's completely in pretty much. except for the cross member and a few bolts. Hopefully we can use that inspection plate off the 400. I haven't checked that yet. Not, you know, that's not the end of the world. We'll figure out something. If we have to make something out of sheet metal or cut this one up or whatever, we'll figure it out. However, we do got to modify the cross member, and it's got to be moved just a little bit. Like, I'm pretty sure that we have to drill one new hole right here and not use this hole no more, and we just move it back is what we do. So, but yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge, but it wasn't too bad. I can't see how you guys could get them though in a Chevelle or something like that. I mean, it's crazy to be thinking about. So I initially was going to do this in 2 videos. I mean, I was initially just going to do 1 video of me putting this all together, but it's so much stuff that I'm going to do this in 2. So we'll continue it next time. We got all the gas tank done. We've got the transmission in. We just got to put the cross member in and put some more bolts in it. The only things left on the back here is some zip ties and a hook and a ground up. All this stuff just needs slid up in the front of the motor, and we got to bolt the starter back in. And that's pretty much everything. Drive shaft's got to go back in, but we can't do that till we do the cross member. So that's this video for now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Wish we could have done it all in 1, but there's just so much to do on this that we're going to have to do it in 2. Or I'm going to have to do it in 2. So hope you enjoy this one. Till then, just keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep rigging things up. Even if this thing kills you, keep rigging it up.